there is one thing that I know about me personally, is that I am a ride or die friend. I am very loyal. I will stick up for my friends through thick and thin, and there is literally nothing you can do or anyone can do to stop me from doing that.
Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. In this video, we are going to turn back the YouTube clock and we're going to discuss a disgraced YouTuber that was on the rise. Their channel was growing. They were getting more and more popular by the day, but then guess what happened? They were exposed. So all of what I say is alleged, but personally, just my opinion from the information I gathered, I believe it because I just kind of always suspected this person was shifty, and the evidence backs it up. This video is about Creepshow Art. Now, if you don't know who that is, this might be interesting for you to learn about, or if you do know who it is, it might be fun to reminisce. It was a crazy time. So when this all happened, I was not at all a fan of her channel. I feel like I could read right through her, and there was just something not right. She never showed her face, so I didn't have that to go off of, but there was just something not quite landing with me. Now, I would not categorize this under just YouTube drama because what she did was beyond drama. It was so much more than that. It was straight up harassment, stalking with some drama sprinkled in. And in addition to the harassment allegations, she also got caught posting anonymously about other content creators that considered her a friend. So get comfortable, grab a snack and a lovely beverage because this might be a long one. So let's get into this.
If there's anyone who's ever confused at what I did, I will explain it to them. Because if I fuck up and I say something that is shown to be false, I don't want to hide from that. I want to state it outright. And I want you guys to know because I wouldn't be able to learn otherwise. You can't hold me accountable otherwise.
Creepshow Art was a content creator who casually did commentary on YouTubers, internet personalities, and celebrities. She had a laid-back conversational style sprinkled with self-deprecation and what some might call humor. She would show either herself or someone else doing artwork while she did voiceover. She never showed her actual face. She did a lot of very weird and, to me, very transparent love bombing. It came off as extremely disingenuous and off-putting, but it seemed to be one of those things a lot of her subscribers and followers found endearing about her. Creepshow Art's name is Shannon, and I will refer to her as such for the remainder of this video. Shannon had a growing and pretty devoted audience. As with any YouTuber, she did have some that openly didn't like her, but for the most part, she was pretty popular. She often mentioned being homeless. It seemed to be a main topic of pride for her. And because of her personable, casual approach, people viewed her as relatable, kind, inspiring, and trustworthy. To her audience, she wasn't perfect, but she was real. She covered people like Jessica Yaniv, Onision, Jaclyn Hill, Jeffree Star, and Tati. She started her channel in 2016 and began making content in 2018. In about late 2020 is when her channel really started to experience a growth spurt. She was called out on occasion for various offenses, but in 2021, she got exposed pretty hard. It was revealed that she was posting on lolcow.com, which is an anonymous site for posting about content creators. Shannon was posting negatively about her YouTuber friends, such as Ready to Glare. On June 7th, 2021, an admin had revealed that Creepshow Art, Shannon, had been posing as someone else on the lolcow.com site because it was anonymous. She thought it would never catch up with her. She was pretending to be her fans and her haters and was talking negatively about herself and her friends like Edwin's Generation, D'Angelo Wallace, and again, Ready to Glare. She broke terms of service on the website concerning things like doxing and self-promoting, so her anonymity was revoked. One thing she did was she doxed her sibling in hopes that people would harass them. And she also called her sibling insane in one of her anonymous posts. Her lolcow.com history came out, prompting her to respond, claiming it was someone who has been stalking and harassing her for a long time. And that person spoofed her IP in an attempt to ruin Shannon's reputation. But it actually was Shannon that made these posts. Several YouTubers debunked Shannon's claims that it was a hacker. Ready to Glare is also a commentary channel that I like her quite a bit. And she responded to this drama. When the accusations first came out, Ready to Glare believed Shannon, but after she looked into it and researched spoofing IPs, she realized Shannon's explanation was ridiculous. This type of thing had happened to Ready to Glare with a friend in the past, also on lolcow.com, and I will link Ready to Glare's video in the About section. Please go check it out if you'd like. Shannon had been close friends with Ready to Glare for years. Ready to Glare viewed her friendship with Shannon as very real. At first, Ready to Glare shared a community post from Shannon and asked everyone to send Shannon some love. This was before she realized Shannon was lying. And she didn't want to believe that because she thought that they were friends, real friends.
This post just going up because I need to talk about this and let you know what's going on. Earlier today, I got a message saying that I had doxed a relative, that I had been called out for saying certain things about myself and other creators and more on a hate forum. And I was confused because I hadn't done that. I would remember doing that, especially the doxing. That's so firmly against what I stand for, and I don't believe in doing that, even to someone I loathe. However, after being sent screenshots of what I allegedly said about me, myself, my friends, and most importantly, my relative, I realized what had happened. A couple years back, I made a video about how I had been stalked for over 8 years by a woman I called Amy. That's not her real name because I was protecting her identity. I talked in detail about that situation, how it affected me, and what I had to do in that situation to keep myself safe. But I also discussed how Amy and I kind of reconciled at the end of that and came to an understanding. She even liked the video and supported me making it. We kept in contact over the past couple years, and I thought I kept a good amount of distance between us, never letting her close enough to hurt me again. Apparently, I am really shitty at that. Obviously, I was wrong because she has gone back to doing what she has always done, which is to try to hurt me, try to turn the people in my life against me, and salivate at the idea of me losing everything. She did this for years, even when I didn't have anything, to the point where, when I was dating my husband, she sent him text messages telling him I was a horrible person and he should leave me. She made fake Facebook accounts to tell people about what a terrible person I was, and she spent years fucking with me nonstop to the point where I just wanted to end it. I had a sneaking suspicion she had been going back to this earlier this year when I started receiving more and more images of self-harm and abuse in my inbox, because that was one of the biggest things she would do to me. I didn't want to believe it, though, because I am a polarizing creator and some people on the internet just don't have boundaries. It's why I had to shut down my Instagram and low-key why I had to shut down Twitter. I've stated publicly and behind the scenes that the amount of harassment I have received has gone down by 100% when I deleted Twitter, and now I know why, because of Amy. When she was harassing me in high school, I would get so many images of self-harm and self-injury that it would cause me to shut down emotionally, and I had confided in her, back when we were friends, that was one of my biggest sore spots. Seeing something like that was just the number one way to hurt me online. So when it started happening in excess again, I started to think that maybe it was her. Maybe she had gone back to that way of being. But I didn't want to think that because we had been so good the last time we talked. The last time we emailed, it had been lovely, with her catching me up on my life and me doing the same back. I didn't know she was going to use everything to try to paint me as something I am not, and I didn't think I needed to use a VPN so she couldn't get my IP address. She had shown me pictures of her daughter and been so supportive of my channel, I thought we were okay. But I was wrong. Because she's been posting on certain sites, posing as me, spoofing my IP, doxing my family members, writing things about myself and my friends, sending me death threats from other accounts, making false accounts to spam my comment section, spamming the comment sections of my friends, saying hateful things about me in order to get them to drop me, and just all around doing what she did years ago. That's not it, of course, but the amount of time and energy she has put into this is well beyond what I thought she was capable of, and as far as I can tell, she's been doing this for well over a couple years. That is not to say I haven't messed up or been rightfully criticized, mind you. I am not blaming her for people being critical of me. I don't know how she did it. I don't know why she did it. But the moment my relative was brought up out of the blue, I knew it was her. She has literally always been obsessed with my relative to the point of constantly bring them up in our conversations, asking me about them and using them to hurt me, even in high school. So I am sending out a cease and desist. And if it comes to it, I will be filing a full restraining order. I don't want to have to do that because she has a daughter, and this will go on her record, which will keep her from being able to get a job and providing for that child. And I keep going in circles in my head about this because I don't know what's right in this situation. But I also don't want this to continue. I just want this to be done. All I ever wanted was for this to be done, and it's getting to the point where I have to protect myself and my family. I just wanted to update you guys because there is that narrative floating around now that I said terrible things about myself and doxed a relative of mine online, and it's not fucking true. All I can say is that it's not fucking true. I completely understand if no one believes me. I understand if I lose friends over this. But the fact that it's been over 10 years of this shit is exhausting. The fact that 2 fucking years ago I made a video about this exact thing happening, about this person doing this to me, going to these extremes, hopefully says a lot. This has been going on for nearly half my life, and I am tired of it. I am going to be keeping the rest of this offline where it belongs. So if you have questions, I'm sorry I'm not answering them, but I wanted to address it.
When she tried to claim that she was hacked, I believe Shannon herself changed her YouTube profile picture and banner into a glitch image, something similar to this. And she deleted community posts to make it look like the hacker did it. But for being hacked, she got her access back in the nick of time to make the community post I showed you earlier to defend herself. But of course, it's full of lies, allegedly.
For one, this doesn't explain how the cookies or device types match up to her, or how the location and IP change over the years accurately with Shannon's location changes. What Shannon is trying to sell in this story is not how IP spoofing works, and you cannot spoof cookies like an IP, so it essentially explains nothing. What Shannon incidentally did with this is confirm that at least one of the IPs does indeed belong to her, which, given the holes everywhere else in the story, cast a million times more suspicion. Several people under the community tab and in part 2 of Omnia's video on the situation explain in a lot more technical detail why Shannon's story doesn't make any sense.
An admin from lolcow.com confirmed that it was, in fact, Shannon. It was Creepshow Art. A couple days before this all came out, Shannon sent Ready to Glare roses. It seems like she was trying to be proactive, part of that love bombing thing she liked to do. She was already trying to cover her butt, if you will. I think it's important to note that Shannon's claim of her IP being spoofed, those claims were proven false when Shannon inadvertently admitted that she was behind the messages, because if she wasn't, she wouldn't have gotten the message from the lolcow administrators concerning her violating terms of service. Now let's talk about Emily Artful, and this will be a lot. After the lolcow posts were shown to be Shannon, it seems Emily Artful finally felt safe coming forward with her story. Emily tweeted, "This just needs to be said. This woman has tormented me for years and years. I know her because my ex-boyfriend dated her after me. I moved on, but she/they continued to harass and stalk me."
I am currently shaken and crying because Creepshow Art is finally being exposed for the absolute terrible person she is. I have known Shannon for many years, even years before she started her YouTube channel. She has copied, stalked, harassed, and threatened me and my children's lives. She has used revenge porn against me, tried to use my drug addiction against me. She has literally gotten me fired from multiple jobs, causing me to be homeless. This person has pushed me to the brink of multiple times and then tried to blame it on a mutual friend when I finally caught her red-handed by tracing her IP. Shannon, you are Amy. All the things you claimed Amy did to you are the things you did to me. Receipts to come. I've got years worth of them.
Now, Emily is a content creator in the art community. She was allegedly harassed for several years by Shannon, actually nearing a decade.
If you're not familiar with who I am, I have been making art content here on YouTube for the past 6 years. For the majority of those 6 years and several years prior, I had been facing stalking, harassment, and threats from one very recognizable source. For many years, I had no idea who this person was. I had speculations, but they were pretty far off. And because of that, I had to endure that abuse. I went to the police. I was turned away. I spoke to an attorney. They told me it's not going to be worth it taking it to court. I even went as far as hiring a private investigator for a short period of time, and he said the same thing. The PI and the attorney advised me that I needed to start taking screenshots of everything that I could and keeping track of what was happening to me. This is because this stalking campaign has lasted the better part of a decade. And while I didn't know who my stalker was before, now I know who my stalker is. My stalker is Shannon, better known as Creepshow Art, and what I believe to be her current husband, Anthony Parker, who is also my abusive ex-partner. This has been my life. This has been the thing that has terrified me, that has kept me up at night. It was incredibly difficult, but also incredibly cathartic. And Shannon, Anthony, if you're watching this, you have no idea what you guys have done to me. You think it's funny. You think it's something you can laugh about behind the scenes. You think it's retribution because I was a drug addict.
Shannon harped about her own stalker, Amy, claiming that she had been stalked for 10 years. However, it seems Shannon was the stalker. Again, allegedly. The thing she described Amy doing, Emily says Shannon did to her. Now, I will link Emily's videos concerning Shannon. There's 3 or 4 of them, but they'll be in the About section. Be warned, they are long videos. They are upsetting, but it's a lot of good information if you are interested. Again, this is serious, not just drama. Emily had a short, toxic relationship with Anthony years ago. Anthony is now, or was at the time, Shannon's husband. I have no idea if they're still together. They have allegedly tag team harassed Emily, which Emily discusses in the videos that I link for you. However, I will try to break it down a little bit. It all started with a music track Anthony sent Emily on MP3 because he wanted Emily to be the female on the track. On the MP3 he had sent Emily, Shannon is allegedly the female voice. Emily admittedly made a bitchy remark about the girl's voice, and Emily acknowledged that it was catty. I want to note here that Shannon says that the girl's voice is not hers.
He sent me the track. I hear the girl's voice. The girl's voice is Shannon's. And I say, man, that girl's voice is weak. It doesn't sound good on the track. My voice would sound so much better. Super catty, super bitchy, and super insecure, immature. There's a million words I could use for what I said about it. So I put Shannon down to raise myself up. And I believe in doing that, that is what set off this chain of events, the stalking, the harassment, the threats. So I made that comment. Andrew didn't really react to it too much. I think he just said, like, wow, you think you're so confident. Like, it was a slightly negative reaction, but he still had me come in and sing on the track.
One thing that Emily states in her video is that online harassment was never leveled at her until after she started working with Anthony professionally. She doesn't directly give a date, but she does say it started when they worked on the song Stardust together, which would be in 2014, 2 years after they reconnected. She supposes this is because Anthony was going to put me on the song, and she told him I was a bad singer and he took me out to put her in my place. This is categorically false in every way. Emily worked on multiple songs with Anthony, and they worked together from 2013 to 2014. The song she is referencing didn't come out until 2014, and it was the last song they worked together. They had worked on another song, Autumn's Moment, in 2013. She was not in the music video for Autumn's Moment because of the online harassment she was already receiving for posting content under the name Emily Sugarfruit, harassment that Anthony actively defended her against. We will come back around to this in a moment. When Stardust came out, I was not in contact with Anthony because I was actively dating another person. I have also never been asked to sing on any of his music because I do not sing. The person who was on the original version of Stardust that she heard was not me. It was a person named Lanaya. Anthony had taken music courses in college with her and asked her to be on the song because he liked her voice. She was also not taken off of the song because Emily stated she couldn't sing or because she faced harassment. Rather, Lanaya's boyfriend wasn't comfortable with her being on the song with another man, so Anthony respectfully took her out. Anthony then asked Emily to be on the song. She was simply the second choice.
So as Emily says, that's what started the harassment and stalking. That was it. That was all it took, allegedly, to start everything. They put Emily through. But I believe that Shannon was pretty unhinged and was going to harass Emily no matter what. And it didn't really have anything to do with the female voice on the track because she was Anthony's ex, and Shannon seems like a very, very insecure little girl. And this is how insecure little girls sometimes behave. Emily noticed an influx of nasty comments on her socials, which is to be expected, but it was more than usual. And she believed Shannon was creating fake accounts and trying to friend Emily on Facebook to build on the harassment. Anthony and Shannon phished Emily's Facebook account and obtained inappropriate images from the DMs of Emily. They were buried in the DMs. And some of these images are from when she was a minor. So they had CP, and they shared the images in a photo bucket account. Yes, Emily did have these images too. So she did possess CP technically, but when they allegedly obtained them, they also possessed the CP. Emily at this point in the actual timeline didn't know if Shannon was involved, but at the time of her video, she did know, again allegedly, that Shannon was involved. She was pretty sure, pretty confident. Shannon set out to destroy Emily. She lost a job because of Shannon and was homeless for a time because of that.
Didn't really have control of much. I tried to get a regular job, and Andrew and potentially Shannon found out about this regular job and decided to email my job and send them a compromising video of myself. They posed as a client, said, "I'm a regular client. You've lost my business because look at your, disgusting human being of a receptionist." Now, I am going to try and get in touch with this job to confirm that they did fire me because they received this email. Looks like they've had a change in business name, but I think that that will be a very important receipt. So I'm really going to try hard to get that. But yeah, when I finally had some sense of normalcy and I felt like I was able to be free and maybe potentially break free of this really toxic cycle that I was in, they got me fired from my fucking job. And I actually ended up homeless for a period of time. So anytime Shannon talks about being homeless and having to live in her car, she did that to me, allegedly.
And Shannon continued with the nonsense to allegedly get her fired from yet another job.
Then once I did overcome it, I ended up meeting someone, moving in with them and getting a different job. And again, Andrew and potentially maybe Shannon did everything they could to try to find out where I was working. For some reason, they knew it was at a restaurant, a specific type of restaurant. So they literally copied exactly one of my friend's Facebook accounts, took the about information, all of their pictures, and made this other Facebook account and acted like, "Oop, my Facebook got deleted, Emily. Can you add me again?" And my dumbass was like, "Okay." And so, oh my God, I want to scream at my past self. But I accepted the friend request, and then of course, they post, hey, does anybody know of any really cool, this specific type of cuisine restaurants in this specific location? And at that point, I'm like, you are not my friend. And so I blocked them. I knew right away that they were trying to find out where I worked. They wanted to try to bait me to be like, yeah, I work here, so that they could call and get me fired from another job. But I was like, no, F you. Block them, let my other friend know, hey, you're being impersonated. And so I believe that account got taken down very quickly.
I want to note here that I do wonder how Anthony treated or treats Shannon, because according to Emily, he was extremely abusive, and that behavior doesn't just change. I know Shannon has said and done terrible things, but no one deserves to be treated that way. Now, let's go back to the lolcow post. I found the 292 posts. There may be more, but this was all I could find, and I'll provide a link to them in the description, and you can click on each post to see the thread to kind of levy out the confusion. In these posts, Shannon calls her own sibling insane, argues with herself about Creepshow Art, makes negative comments about herself, probably to garner views and bring attention to her channel. After all this came out and Shannon realized no one was buying her spoofed IP lies, she reached out to YouTuber Gabby Hanna, asking her to make a negative video about Ready to Glare. Ready to Glare isn't really what I would consider problematic, and Gabby Hanna, at least as far as I know, she doesn't really make that type of content. So I'm not sure what Shannon was trying to achieve with that one. She also messaged another YouTuber, Tipster. I don't think he makes content anymore, but it was Tipster at the time. She messaged him and said, "You want me to talk to you after you commented on my husband's channel because of a provably false R-word allegation. Really? You thought that was smart?" So here is that exchange. Hi everybody, this is Edit and Dawn. I am going to voice over these texts between Tipster and Shannon not because I don't think you can read, but because I don't know if they're going to show up blurry or not, because I've been having some issues with them, so I'm just going to go voice over them. I don't know if you are reading messages here, and yes, I have been publicly critical of you and stand by what I said, but I am still here if you need to talk. You want me to talk to you after you commented on my husband's channel because of a provably false accusation? Really? You thought that was smart? Okay, I see how this is going to be. Goodbye, Shannon. Have a nice life. Oh my God, really? You fall that easy? You're genuinely weaker-willed than I thought. Boo-hoo, Shannon didn't immediately talk to me the way I wanted her to, despite me going after her husband publicly over claims that aren't true and are so easily proven fake. Cry more, literally, like the time you cried on stream because I donated money to you, and you literally said if I was in drama, you'd respect me because I tell you to stay out of it. So dumb. Whatever. You didn't even have the balls to ask questions. Girl, you are mental. Get help. You lied to all your friends and you expect me to sympathize with you. Then you went to Gabby Hanna to try and destroy another friend of yours. You're sick. Good riddance. And I also want to insert Shannon's response to the Tipster stuff.
I said I would address Tipster, so this is for him. Tipster said that if I was able to prove that I didn't do what I was being accused of, that he would apologize to me. And to that, I say, fuck you. You disgusting person. You maliciously attacked my husband because you yourself couldn't scroll down far enough on Emily's Instagram and find the multiple posts that debunk her story that are still live. You're a journalist, but you just couldn't do that. There is a reason your content gets fewer and fewer views than everyone else in the YouTube commentary community, and you keep being beat out by everyone else. And that's because it's terrible, lazy, and reductive. You should rename your channel Secondhand News, because you can't be fucked to actually research anything before you open your ugly mouth. You watch someone else's video and you say what they said worse than they said it. You aren't a reporter, you're not a journalist, you're a joke. Just know that you are a terrible person, and you can take that forgiveness and just fuck it. Just fuck that forgiveness right off. You are just as bad as Emily, if not worse, for supporting a mob with no evidence while claiming to do all this research and claiming to care about your friends or anything. I talked to you so many times, and you once cried on stream saying if Shannon was in trouble, she would tell me not to defend her because she's a good person. And when I told you not to do that, you were like, well, that's fine, she's guilty. Even though there's evidence to say I'm not and no evidence to say I am.
Her entire response video is over 2 hours long and seemingly a waste of time. Since Shannon's channel is now gone, I can't share the original response video, but it has been uploaded on YouTube by other channels, and it is very defensive. She doesn't accept any responsibility, and it seems more like a temper tantrum because she's not getting her way.
If you are seeing this video, it means one of two things has happened. Either one, my lawyers negotiated with Emily's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some form of retraction, or two, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side. This video is being made for posterity to show I didn't do what I was accused of, and to show that what Emily has accused me and my husband of not only never happened to her, but could not have happened. This video is being made to simply defend my and my husband's name and prove we did not do the things we were accused of. I am going to go through Emily's statements point by point with evidence to show how she is lied on screen, and I'm going to leave links in the description box down below to everything I'm talking about. That way you can verify the authenticity. The only things I will not be linking will be Emily's Facebook accounts, of which there are 3, where she goes by different names, because they are all seemingly active. 99% of the evidence shown in this video is going to be from Emily's own accounts, including posts from her Emily Artful YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. All of these are publicly accessible, all of these were found after she made these false claims, and all of these accounts link directly back to Emily and no one else. These accounts do affirm parts of her story, but they completely debunk and disprove others. I will show them in their entirety so you can draw your own conclusions. I will also be including archival links, seeing as Emily herself has stated she has deleted all her evidence involving this. Emily's narrative that I stalked her is in part made, I believe, so that when I show proof of her lies from her own accounts, she can further claim that that in and of itself is stalking. Emily created a false narrative, so no matter what is said after, even if I debunk all of her claims, she can still claim that she is the victim. That is why I made the decision to handle this legally before I ever responded back publicly. Any person claiming to be me before this on any other account was not me. I only spoke to one person once on Instagram, that being Tipster, who I will address more thoroughly at the end. While Emily states she deleted all the evidence, that is clearly untrue. I have found plenty of evidence that shows that what she said happened never actually happened, all of which was found after she made her video, and the majority of it is from her own accounts, meaning she had access to proof that actively went against her claims, and she purposely hid it in order to slander my husband and I. In response to being asked for any proof, she stated that she wouldn't lie about this because it would put her career and reputation on the line, and that my estranged relative and a former friend who physically abused me would also not lie about this, as it would hurt their public image, despite neither of them being public-facing people. I will also address them at the end as well. I will be using Emily's full legal names sporadically through this video, seeing as Emily herself places it in the description box of some of her videos, and it's publicly known. This video is going to be heavily itemized, so feel free to skip to whatever chapter of this video you are interested in, or if you would prefer to read what I am saying, a Google Doc with the script and screenshots will be accessible in the description. However, the document itself is 91 pages long.
I know that was a long clip, but I just wanted to share it to show that no, I wasn't stalking her, but I know all of this in extreme detail. I'll post a link to a re-upload of this video in case you're interested in hearing her crazy nonsense, because although she claims it's proof she didn't harass or stalk Emily, it doesn't really prove anything. It's riddled with evidence to the contrary, in my opinion. She says she never stalked Emily. Never, ever, ever. But she had old journal entries, MySpace accounts, old DeviantArt accounts, Facebook and Twitter accounts from when Emily was 13 years old. She even knew what the wallpaper in Emily's father's house looked like. She didn't really prove that she did not make hateful, homophobic, transphobic, fatphobic, racist, misogynistic comments on lolcow.com. when she talked about her stalker, Amy, she said that was a name she made up to protect that person. However, in her video, she shows actual, I believe manufactured by Shannon, screenshots of correspondence to Amy. If the name was a name she made up as not to expose her real stalker, why would she address the person by that name in correspondence? She expresses anger with her friends for not defending her, but earlier said that she didn't want them to defend her. Speaking of her friends, she went off on them. I guess she was fully expecting them to trust her again after all of this came out. And because they didn't offer her unwavering support, she writes this.
Side note, if any of you dumb MFers who I gave money to want to send it back my way after making your videos saying you are horrified by my actions and always felt uncomfortable around me, do it. Talking to you, Nathan, Camellia, and Vangelina Skov. You are pathetic leeches who I help give platforms to and don't ask for jack shit in return, namely because I thought we were genuinely friends. I even bought Nathan his computer. How stupid am I? And you literally took someone's word that I own CP with no evidence. I cannot believe I trusted you. I am the world's biggest idiot for that one.
Yet, before this all happened, she said this about her friends.
Dustin Daly, who double backed on her because it became popular to not like her, and so he said a bunch of shit, and him and his fiance fucking suck. I hate them. They're terrible people. Literally drugged people. But that's something I'm not.
Personally, in her response video, I feel like Shannon purposely tries to make her explanation seem complex and convoluted and way too complicated and detailed, so viewers will just take her at her word. She should have gone into politics. She provided a link to Google Docs that was supposedly to back all of this up, but all of the links she provided in the documents, at least it was my experience, seem to be broken or incompleted links. And the way she talks to the people that still supported her, she's awful.
To the people who reached out, who said, I don't care if you did it. I still love your content. Don't leave YouTube. I love you. You're weird. Don't say that to me ever fucking again. Do not reach out to me ever again. That is not comforting. I spent all my time trying to help victims of what I was actually accused of, and to be told that my audience doesn't care about that is insane. To the people who told me to kill myself, better luck next time. Thanks for playing. And to everyone else, go touch some fucking grass. I am done. I'm fucking done.
I'll provide an archive.org link to her documents in the description if you are interested in that. I also want to go back real quick and talk about her homelessness. This topic has been debated a little bit on YouTube, but I have personally heard Shannon speak on her homelessness, so I'm going with that info. Although we do now know she's a liar, so take it with a grain of salt. And of course, this is alleged. I can't share clips of her discussing her homelessness because her channel has been terminated. So anyway, she frequently used her homelessness as a plot device to sell herself as some sort of folk hero. She wasn't homeless because of the man. She wasn't displaced, poor, and begging for change. Shannon and her husband made the conscious choice to be homeless and live in their vehicle to save money. While I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant experience, it was an actual choice her privilege allowed her to make, not something she did out of necessity. Shannon had almost 500,000 subscribers, but lost over 100,000 almost overnight after all this came out. At the time her channel was officially terminated on April 13th, 2023, she had 289,000 subscribers, probably dead subscribers. Whew, that was a lot. And I did not even cover everything. I didn't even talk about the Hopeless Peaches controversy, which would probably extend this video another 30, 40 minutes if I really wanted to cover it thoroughly. No disrespect to Hopeless Peaches. I hope you enjoyed this, and I thank you so much for watching. I guess that's it. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.